The film opens with the constant tremor of a building, not from an earthquake but from the deafening music blasting in the neighboring apartment. Janiyah Wilkinson, the protagonist, tries to sleep, each minute a vain effort. Her daughter, Arya, a little girl no older than 7, wears headphones, a flimsy shield against the nightly cacophony. At 6 in the morning, the alarm blares. Janiyah gets up, drenched in sweat, her tiny fan useless against the stifling heat. "Arya, it's time to go," she whispers. While in the background, the incessant crying of a baby adds to the orchestra of her daily misery. Arya finishes her science project, but the thought of school that day weighs heavily on her. A classmate bullies her, making every day a torment. They live in a 2-story neighborhood, a labyrinth of broken hopes and postponed dreams. Downstairs, Janiyah gives an old man a coin for a snack, a small act of kindness that her landlady quickly scolds her for. Janiyah, her voice choked with helplessness, promises she'll get paid that day and return with the money. The landlady, relentless, warns her that her belongings will end up on the street if she doesn't. Soon they arrive at school. Janiyah kisses Arya, promising her a decent lunch soon, a promise that pains her to make. Without a second to lose, she plunges into the chaos of the mini-mart where she works as a cashier. It's the first of the month and the place is a pressure cooker. People furious from the endless waiting. To make matters worse, her colleague Angela has called in sick. Customers criticize her slowness in scanning products. One woman with an air of superiority tries to pay for her bottles of alcohol with an invalid card. Janiyah refuses. Her boss, Richard, appears and, face flushed with anger, orders her to clean up the mess. Her colleague, with a compassionate gesture, offers her a bill for Arya's medicine, but Janiyah refuses. She holds on to her faith, clinging to the hope that the situation will improve, that she'll have more time to resume her nursing studies. At that moment, the call from Arya's school comes in. Janiyah tries to explain to Richard that she needs to leave. He grudgingly gives her 30 minutes. Shortly after, about to fire her, he understands that Janiyah just needs her paycheck at the end of the day. Desperate, she tries to withdraw $40 for Arya's school lunches, but the bank line is endless. She decides to go directly to the school. There, her heart stops. Child Protective Services wants to take Arya. Janiyah pleads, explains that her daughter suffers from epileptic seizures and asthma, that she needs her mother to calm down. But the teacher and director coldly claim that Arya comes to school dirty and hungry every day. Janiyah screams that she works 2 jobs, that Arya lacks nothing, that she bathes her daily, even if sometimes there's no hot water. Her arguments are useless. They're going to visit her home to ensure Arya has a proper place to live. The mother, devastated, watches as her baby is taken away. On the way back, Janiyah's world disintegrates further. A reckless driver cuts her off. In a fit of rage, she throws her drink at him. The driver, an arrogant man, chases her for revenge. Janiyah is stranded in the middle of the street. In seconds, an officer arrives. But her bad luck is cruel. The Camaro driver is also a police officer and demands her license and registration, threatening her with jail. The female officer manages to calm him down. Janiyah's documents are expired. She swears she'll fix it with her paycheck, but the excuse is useless. She's given a ticket. She returns to work, soaked, her soul in tatters. Richard informs her that he called Michelle to replace her. She was absent for 2 hours when he only gave her 30 minutes. And to top it off, he accuses her of lying because Michelle saw her at the bank. Janiyah tries to explain that it was for Arya's lunches, but Richard doesn't believe her. He fires her without giving her the check. Outside, in the street, her few belongings lie piled up. The landlady kept her promise. Janiyah is on the verge of collapsing, like her daughter's soaked experiment ready to explode. Later, Janiyah returns to demand her check, but dismissed employees must wait days for it to arrive by mail. Out of nowhere, armed robbers burst in, emptying the desk and the safe. Janiyah clings to Arya's backpack, refusing to hand it over to store the loot. In the struggle, the gun fires, hitting a robber. Richard, horrified, accuses her of being an accomplice, claiming the dead man knew her name, even though he only read it from her uniform tag, so he calls the police to arrest her. Janiyah, fed up with her horrible boss, also sends him to the afterlife to shut him up forever. Immediately after, she takes her blood-stained check to cash it at the bank, which had just closed. The administrator, Nicole, with a compassionate gesture, lets her in. Just then, the authorities arrive at the crime scene, which makes no sense because the money is still there. Cameras show the mother. Her friend Angela declares that Janiyah is a good person, incapable of planning a robbery. She implores the detectives to help her, explaining the mountain of problems Janiyah faces. At the bank, the employee, unfazed, mistakes the bloodstains on the check for red paint, assuming Janiyah has small children at home. In any case, she couldn't help her because she didn't have her ID card, which had been stolen. The mother orders her to do it the hard way, or there will be a bullet. She activates the silent alarm. 911 contacts the administrator, who confirms a robbery in progress. She describes the suspect, but it seems strange to her. Janiyah is a regular customer. Then Aria's science project is mistaken for a bomb. Benny, the old man from the snack shop, tells detectives that Janiyah, despite her own struggles, always gave him a coin for food. Doña Florinda, for her part, has nothing good to say about the protagonist. The bank notification reaches the detectives, who head to the scene. Janiyah doesn't understand why the tellers are handing her all the money. She only wants her check, which is $521. Nico orders the guard to evacuate all personnel as the suspect is heavily armed. However, the customers, tired of waiting, refuse to leave. Janiyah tries to explain the misunderstanding. The administrator asks Tessa to cash her client's check. Just then, the punctual police arrive to arrest the terrorist, threatening to fill her with holes at the slightest strange movement, especially the white police officer who radiates hatred towards her. The chief, Wilson, arrives in his elegant Tahoe, bewildered by the mess. Wilkinson, caught on camera murdering her boss, is not considered guilty by the detective. She understands Janiyah's helplessness after being evicted from her apartment. Also, Janiyah didn't steal money from the safe, only her check. Suddenly, a man tries to stop her with the guard, but they fail miserably. Janiyah, fiercer than mothers-in-law and grandchildren combined, demands that they stop fearing her. Otherwise, she'll kill no one but her boss, fulfilling every worker's dream. Her name is already echoing on the television news. The bank phones start ringing. It's Wilson, the police chief, who wants to talk. Janiyah hangs up. He orders to locate the negotiator. A female voice, a detective named Kaya, offers. Janiyah, tired of men ruining her day, prefers to talk to her. Wilson gives her the opportunity. Janiyah declares that she has no intention of robbing the bank, only cashing her check. Even so, they hand her the money, perhaps because she's holding a gun that doesn't belong to her. And since she's always been alone, she can't believe the detective wants to help her instead of arresting her, which would be fatal for Arya. Kaya, following the real negotiator's advice, suggests she release the hostages. Janiyah refuses. But Kaya, with her military experience, is doing an excellent job. Nico hands Janiyah the check money, then suggests she could say it was all a misunderstanding. Janiyah gives him $40 for Arya, knowing that the racist police officer won't allow it. Afterwards, she makes the employees close the blinds. At that moment, officers manage to access the bank's security system. The chief wants to know what that device Janiyah is carrying in her backpack is. An employee discreetly takes out her iPhone to record her. The older lady mentions she needs to sit down. Nicole has to go find a chair, while Janiyah apologizes to all the customers. But she needs a second to figure out how to get out of this mess without the jerk who crashed into her earlier, killing her. That war veteran gets tired of waiting and decides to leave with his wife. Just like that. Janiyah orders the main door to be locked so no one else leaves. Suddenly, the bomb makes a sound. Nicole begs her not to activate it. The protagonist asks her to be patient for a moment until she sorts out the matter. In doing so, she turns off the bomb, to the relief of all spectators. Tessa thinks Janiyah is going to kill her because she took forever to cash her check, so she tries to escape. Nicole reminds them that Janiyah has a bomb. Janiyah hands them more chairs so they can rest their legs. Kaya doesn't understand why she did it. Janiyah says she knows what it's like to be on her feet all day. And of course, she worked in a dingy mini-mart with no chairs. The SWAT team is ready to enter with smoke bombs, fireworks, and other gadgets. However, it's too risky. Janiyah could explode the bomb, which she probably learned to make on the deep web. So they propose calling the FBI to take over. Kaya doesn't think it's necessary. The negotiator agrees. Janiyah doesn't look like an expert terrorist. They give Kaya another chance to talk to her. But hearing all the phones ringing at the same time upsets Janiyah. And she wants to disconnect them. It's understandable. She has to endure the inconsiderate neighbor's noise every day. Nicole advises her to take the call. It could be her daughter. She asks Kaya why there are so many police outside if she's already said she didn't come to rob the bank and can't leave because she's sure the bad-tempered police officer will shoot her. He promised her on the highway that if she caused him more trouble, he'd find a legal way to send her to her god. Kaya doesn't understand who she's talking about. Janiyah explains what happened. Her car was towed for not having up-to-date papers when she begged them not to, as she needed it to take her daughter to the hospital. Then she tells what happened at her job. That she wanted to get paid to buy Aria's medicine, which cost a fortune. Due to her illness, she sometimes lost her balance and fell in the bathtub when bathing alone. That was why Child Protective Services took her away. Kaya, after hearing all her misfortunes, mentions that they were going to help her. The negotiator advises her to compose herself and continue the conversation. Janiyah doesn't believe Kaya can understand her, but the detective proves her wrong. She was also raised by a single mother, just like Janiyah now, and had to fight daily for her daughter. Furthermore, she was also evicted when she was 9 years old, so she promises her that nothing will go wrong. Janiyah is willing to leave the bank if the 2 police officers who ticketed her are removed. Kaya withdraws from the mobile unit to think for a while. Her partner apologizes for the bad day he caused her. In reality, he felt bad, as he was unaware of the difficult life Janiyah had. Wilson wants to know who the officers who ticketed Janiyah were. She realizes she's on camera and takes Nicole with her to disconnect them. The other employees try to escape before she returns. Tessa takes the risk, but the door is locked. Meanwhile, the desperate mother turns off the server. Tessa is caught standing but doesn't get shot by inventing that she had to go to the bathroom. The elderly lady supports her. Janiyah gives them permission to go one by one. Kaya checks the system to see if Janiyah was ticketed. The lady scolds Tessa for not understanding the protagonist's situation. Then she wishes her good luck. She starts to freeze because the bank never turns off the air conditioning. Nicole offers her a jacket her husband gave her, who treats her very well. Janiyah is happy for her. For her part, she chose poorly who to have a child with. Because of that, she's currently alone. In that moment, she sees that Nicole lives in a brick mansion. In contrast, her apartment is smaller than the bank's bathroom, with cardboard walls. Nicole has 2 daughters, the older one 16 and the younger one 7. Then she remembers when Janiyah would come with her daughter to cash her checks, and she always seemed like a wonderful mother. But if she wants to go home with Arya, she has to end this as soon as possible. Although she can't lie to her, she knows she'll be sent to prison for some time. Either way, when she gets out, her daughter will be waiting for her. Janiyah doesn't want her to be taken to a foster home or to stay with her mother or sister, who are crazy. At that moment, the FBI arrives, making the problem even bigger. Kaya asks her partner to help her find the identity of the police officer who threatened her. Nicole sees a crowd outside asking for Janiyah's release because they had heard the emotional conversation she had with the detective through social media. The one who supported her the most was Benny, who had nowhere to live. But his neighbor always helped him with what she could. The FBI mentions that they are now in charge of the case. Wilson says they have a feeling the suspect will surrender voluntarily and without a fuss. Bryce believes they have nothing under control, so he dispatches them to fix their mess. Janiyah asks Nicole why she helped her open a savings account some time ago if she didn't know her. Her answer is that she used to work somewhere else where they offered women like them credit cards and loans without hurdles, so they would get into debt and never get ahead. That's why she tried to make a difference at the bank. Tessa is not a pleasant person and criticizes Janiyah for holding her hostage in that hot room. Laura understands that they turned off the air conditioning. The only ones who could live without the appliance are Janiyah and the lady who was born in 43. A year when no such thing had been invented yet. There, she declares that no matter how difficult her life is, there is always someone else having it worse. Janiyah understands that. That's why she tries to be grateful for what she has. Then she comments that the hospital didn't care about her daughter's condition, who was born premature and with problems. And since she had no medical insurance, the doctors didn't want to help her. Then, she asks Nicole if she could take care of Arya when she goes to prison, since she has no one else. The administrator accepts and knows very well that her husband would too. Suddenly, the lady starts to feel unwell due to her diabetes. Janiyah decides to take her outside before she gets worse. Kaya makes sure the police don't shoot for no reason. The time limit makes her explain that she has to go back for her employees. Bryce blames Wilson for it. Wilson tells him to go to hell because he only came to annoy him. Yes, and then he calls the suspect who only wants to talk to Detective Raymond because she's the only one who understands what she's going through. Bryce orders her to surrender, a mistake on his part, as he makes her angry again and she says she won't leave the bank until they remove the police officer. The bomb suddenly activates. She can't stand that sound, so she disconnects it. Then she mentions it's her daughter's science project. Upon learning they thought it was an explosive, she asks Nicole to explain that it's another misunderstanding. Tessa goes to the bathroom where she takes the opportunity to leave a message saying that the bomb isn't real, but the gun is. Nicole recommends not telling the police anything because it might be the only thing preventing them from entering by force, and she doesn't want her to get hurt, so it's best to leave the backpack at the door. The police officer who ticketed Janiyah appears in front of Kaya, but refuses to reveal the identity of her partner who assaulted her. The detective gets the name Oliver out of her, and with all the fury in the world, punches him for having caused Janiyah's distress. Wilson believes Kaya and takes the jerk away to Bryce, who doesn't want to answer the phone because he doesn't know what to do anymore. The mother learns that they have the police officer who assaulted her. Anyway, she wants to make sure and asks the detective to send her a photograph of Oliver to her phone, which the FBI had paid for. Only then will she leave the bank. But Bryce asks for the hostages in return. So they make a deal. In addition, the officer who ticketed her had a body cam that would serve as proof of the death threat she received from Oliver. However, Bryce orders the bank lights to be turned off so his team can enter because he's tired of waiting. Kaya explains that they could end this peacefully, but it's no use, and they prepare to betray Janiyah's trust. The detective won't allow it, and walks to the bank entrance to tell her that the FBI won't turn on her phone. Anyway, she has Oliver's photo on her iPhone. Laura is in charge of showing it to her. Janiyah is satisfied. They've already taken him away, so she allows the employees to leave. Nicole decides to leave at the end with the protagonist. She mentions that she never had anyone by her side in life, but now she does. Then she asks if she'll visit her in prison from time to time. The administrator replies yes, and she'll bring her daughter so they can have a moment together. At that moment, Bryce gives the order. Janiyah's phone turns on, and her mother calls, wanting to know why she's robbing a bank. She tries to explain what happened, but upon hearing that Arya had died last night in the hospital after a seizure, she's speechless. In reality, nothing of what she experienced that morning with her daughter was real. Every scene we saw from the beginning was a hallucination. Afterward, the team enters, making a spectacle, and for no reason in this world, they shoot Janiyah in the heart. Lie! That's what could have happened if she had resisted surrender. She doesn't drop the weapon and raises her hands, where the excellent police officers can see them. Kaya orders her to approach slowly backward, puts handcuffs on her, and before putting her in the patrol car, Janiyah thanks Nicole for everything. The explanation is that due to the traumatic experience of having lost her daughter last night, she suffered an episode of psychosis. That's why she kept believing that Arya was alive. But her mother reminded her of what happened. Don't forget to leave a good like,